Now, interviews for judicial vacancies in various superior courts will be held this very week. And earlier this year, the Judicial Service Commission held interviews for 2 seats on the Constitutional Court bench. However, the Council for the Advancement of the SA Constitution challenged the constitutionality of the interview and deliberation process thereof. But the Gauteng High Court subsequently then ordered the interviews to rerun, actually. And the JSC has thus refused to admit unlawful conduct, although a settlement has been reached with CASAC and interviews will resume today. All right, a lot going on there, but eNCA reporter Heidi Giokos joins us now for more on what we can expect today and, of course, breaking it down for us to understand. Heidi, good morning to you. Now, today is the start of the Judicial Service Commission interviews, so what can we expect?
Yes, indeed. I think it's a very big week this week, as well as of next week, if I'm not mistaken, for these interviews to be conducted. We know that today we'll specifically focus on 2 positions in the Constitutional Court, as well as other positions at other courts later on this week. We do understand that Raymond Zondo will chair these Judicial Service Commission interviews as of today. But today we'll specifically focus on 2 positions in the Constitutional Court, as 2 positions need to be filled given the retirement of 2 Constitutional Court judges. So it's going to be a big day today, a big focus, and of course many people indicating that because Raymond Zondo will be chairing this today, this will of course prove his skills and his ability, given the fact that there is the position for Chief Justice that still needs to be decided on. So today will of course be a major day with regards to the 2 positions for the Constitutional Court, and the rest of the week will focus on interviews done for High Court, Supreme Court and other courts that where vacancies need to be filled.
Yeah. Heidi, with that being said, just please remind us why they are being redone, as interviews were already conducted back in April.
Yes, indeed. So we understand that interviews were conducted in April, but settlement and agreement was reached between non-profit organizations as well as the JSC for these interviews to be done again. We understand that concerns were raised as to how the interviews were conducted back in April, with these bodies indicating that the interviews were in fact unconstitutional, and the way in which the interviews were conducted were basically unlawful, and they did not agree with the conduct and manner in which these interviews were conducted. And this is why there is now going to be a rerun of these interviews. Many would argue that this is a waste of time, as these vacancies need to be filled in as quickly as possible, because they are key and important positions in high courts and of course the Constitutional Court, which is the highest court in the land. But of course the agreement was reached that these interviews should rather be redone, so that there aren't any concerns of interference or any concerns raised of interviews done in an unconstitutional manner. So as I previously mentioned, this is going to be a huge day, especially because it's interviews being conducted for Constitutional Court vacancies as well as other vacancies in the court. And many concerns, Tumelo, have also been raised at the fact that the Constitutional Court does not have a Chief Justice, because Chief Justice Mogoeng decided to go on leave, a very long period of leave before his retirement now in October. So many questions are being raised as to why this was allowed to happen in the first place, and how a key vacancy such as the Chief Justice is standing open. But of course Raymond Zondo is acting as the Chief Justice. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens, and if any bombshells will be dropped in these interviews today.
Yeah, we'll be sure to catch up with you, Heidi, as soon as those developments do occur. Thank you so much for this, Heidi Giokos.